Okay, let's rest for 1 second. Just put the toes down and just shoulders. Just bounce your shoulders. Here. Hey, 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 hey. Anybody's been in Kashima, you've heard that sound. Hey, 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 hey. Good. Okay, one more round. Honte-uchi. Honte ni kamae. Let me get to where I'm not going to get nailed here. Honte-uchi. Oi. Straight posture, straight back, neck up. Hajime. Hey. 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 One more. Forward. Hey. I'm going backwards. Yes, sir.
Make a suggestion. When you pull the jo back, pull it back until it gets to your ring finger. Don't pull it back until it gets to your index finger. Pull it all the way back to your ring finger.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Now it'll be easy to turn over.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. All right, going backwards together. Cup, draw, raise, hey. Cup, draw, raise, hey. Cup, draw, strike. Cup, draw, grip, strike. Cup, draw, grip, strike. Again, cup, draw, grip, strike. Your strike is coming this way. Watch. Zat. Okay. Yame. Point. When we call yame, yame means to stop. Whatever position you're in, it means to stop in honte kamae. Motoi means to go back to sune no kamae. Okay? All right. So honte-uchi, there's a lot to it. There's a lot of practice involved in getting yourself to learn these angles, learn this power transmission. So, that said, we'll go on to the next technique. Gyaku-te. Now, Gyaku-te is just a reversed hand grip on the stick. I tend to think that Omote, it spends a lot of time dealing with what can you do with Honte-uchi, what can you do with Gyaku-te. And Omote is the first set of the classical Jo series. The first 8 techniques, basically, of seite are from Omote. There's 2 extra that are made from the same components. For a while, I used to want to collect kata techniques and think, I need to learn Chudan, I need to learn Kage, I'm wasting my time doing Omote, I know this, I should be doing something else. And then after a while, I realized that it's like in Iaido when you do the basic Seiza no Bu set over and over and over again. You can be at 8th dan, 10th dan. What are you going? Most of your practice is going to be the basic set. And I realized that Omote, the basics, create the skills that you need to do the other sets properly. And I know one time we were in Japan and we were told, you shouldn't be doing Kage. Your problems are all Kihon. But Sensei said, do Kage, so we'll do Kage. But it was obvious that the problem, that what we needed to work on wasn't the advanced techniques. That the secrets to the advanced techniques are really in doing proper basics. Which is these, oddly enough. So Gyakute is the same as Honte, except your hands reversed. Now I want everybody to take Gyaku kamae. When you take Gyaku kamae, it is a strike to the eyes, just like Honte-uchi is a strike to the eyes. Gyakute-uchi, this kamae is a strike to the eyes. So imagine your opponent, you've got your position here, Tsune no kamae. You reach and grab the end of the stick. Make sure your pinky can feel the corner of the end of that stick. Comes up behind you and comes to the eyes. If your hands are too low, it's the same as before. They should be coming from your center. If you turn your hand over and it doesn't feel like a good Honte kamae, it's not a good Gyaku kamae. So this is the only difference. By the way, notice your hands should be on top with the wrist bone rolled over so that it's on top of the jo. So, John, you probably want your feet a little bit wider forward. Yeah. Remember I talked about this versus this. Same thing. Bend that knee a little bit. Get yourself a wider stance with the knee bent. Hey? Okay. Well, this is a lot simpler. There's no hand changes. You draw straight back. Don't lose your target. There you go. Now, this has the same thing that we had before, is that I've got to get this around my shoulder without changing my angle. So if I lift my arms sideways, I've now lost my angle. My target is no longer in front of me. Here are the targets in front of me. Here are the targets in front of me. Here are the targets in front of me. All right? Too low. There you go. Bring it up. Yeah, there you go. So this is Gyakute. Kamae. All right, Gyakute-uchi. Yoi. Hajime. Hey. Same timing. Stretch and then step. And step. Up and step. Back. Draw back. Hey. Up and step. Draw back. Raise and step. Draw back. Raise and step. Back. Raise. Step. More and more.
You get that wrist bone across the top of the jaw.
Yeah. Good. Okay, yame and toi. And so these are interesting techniques. They're not just strikes. Okay? Peter, can I borrow you for a second? Let me,
I have this feeling I'm going to get hit.
you've used one of these before, right?
I have some big, yeah, a couple of times.
So what's the important thing here about covering our center line is that Joe has multiple properties, and one of them is it functions as a thrusting weapon. It can function as a striking weapon. It can be a sweeping weapon. It also can be a shield. And what I'm talking about is if Peter tries to come at me and cut at me, when I strike, as you can see, it's replacing his stick. Now, if you've done Aichi out of the Sankata, the first of the double swords, it's a similar property. But I want you to look at what happens when I have this position here. He's going to have a hard time cutting through this.
Even if I come through, he doesn't have to move it much, and I'll miss. That's it.
As a matter of fact, completing my movement completes the coverage of this as a shield. So, and we'll see this, I'm going to do a session, maybe tomorrow or the day after, of the last 4 of Omote. And I really love those because those techniques exist to teach you how to use Honte-uchi as a shield. What does that mean, to use a strike as a shield? Well, if you've ever studied any Bruce Lee, you have the way of the intercepting fist. You punch him and he can't punch through your punch. This is kind of what's going on here. And Honte-uchi is a really good example of this. I'm going to just strike through the center. He's got this oblong thing, kind of vertical oblong. Now, a sword, by the way, is more vulnerable than a bokken to this technique. And what I'm talking about is the fact that I've got a round object and he's got a narrow vertical object. What's going to happen is that he's not going to be able to cut around it or through it. Now, if I were to hold the jo here and strike at him and he was to cut straight down, he's going to go through the jo. Because he can cut through, full power, he can cut through an inch of wood. Can he cut through on an angle 4 inches of wood? Can he cut through on a very steep angle 4 feet of wood? I don't think so. That's just not going to happen. So I want you to think about using this center line of the Jo not only as a striking weapon, but also as your protection. This is your shield and your defense. And a lot of what we do in Jo has to do with overwhelming the swordsman. Okay? Do you want to do Ichide?
Okay.
Okay. So, this is the 10th kata of Omote, and starts from this position. The first thing I'm going to do when he starts to come up is I'm going to stop him from drawing. Do this. Raise your wrist up a little bit here. Okay.
Make it very good.
And then draw out. He starts to back off. So he's blocked this. He's going to get the idea that he should cut me. Come in here and block this. He's going to raise the sword. This is the key moment right here.
I'm going to cut for his back of his neck.
Well, without moving, I want you to try to cut me. You can't. Now, part of this is because he's holding with a giant triangle attached to that sword. So he's wedging himself away from me. Here, cut. So what happens if he takes a half step back though? Oh yeah, not good, right? So I'm here, I've kind of got this as a curb feeler. I'm holding his center. As he starts to go backwards, I strike right here.
I can't get to the center.
So in this case, I'm going to, he actually in the kata, to continue the kata, he would then back off because he can't get anywhere. But I'm using this just to kind of show you this aspect of using the Jo as a shield. And then using my strike to replace his sword, to basically take away the space that he needs to cut me. And finish the kata. He's going to come in here.
Yay!
Hey! Thank you. So this is why you have to be very dead on with your strikes when you're doing Honte, Gyakute, Z. You see this? This line is what you need. And like we said, if you're maybe, if we take, let's see, 90 degrees, 15, 7.5 degrees. 1130 is 7.5 degrees off of the center. That's not much, okay? So, hey, here. Is that right? No, it's not, it's 15. We go 90, we go 90, we got 30s, so half of 30 is 15. There you go. So we're 15 degrees off the top center line, okay? So let's do one more round of trying to hit him with one hand. I've got two hands. The back hand actually attaches the weapon to your body. So here, I want you to also, don't get the wrong idea, but I want you to watch his hips, okay? If I strike this sword, number one, you hear that clacking sound. And number two, really doesn't do much to his hips. What I want to do is break his posture. You know the technique Kihon Otoshi. It's that direction. It's the exact same technique as Kihon Otoshi. So if you think about from his sword point of view, if I go one Jo, and I mean a mat, 3 feet to the side and 6 feet back, which is a standard tatami, I want to take him from this corner to that corner. So we did some math on that, and I think that comes to 22.5 degrees. So we got 15, we got 22.5. Somewhere in there is good. Okay? So here, Now, so what did I do? I leaned forward with my body. So, no. If I lean forward now, I just lean forward while I'm raising the stick, and I don't have anything left. If I wait until I get to here and then use my power then, you see my back heel? My hip turns. Boom. Pops that hip around. So I've got this power, I've got this power, I've got this power, I've got this power. Oh yes, one more thing. Got that power. We're going to do Makiotoshi tomorrow. Makiotoshi is like this. It really makes the sword kind of boring. Story about Bieler Sensei was that when he learned Makiotoshi, and he was a kendo guy, he would come up to the guy in kendo and just, it was boring after that. Nobody could hold a sword against him. So there's something there. There's something there. You're using the same action of sliding. It's amazing how little power that takes to throw the sword out of the way. Okay? So what I want to do when I have this is I want to combine all of those together. Now, Hiki Otoshi, sometimes I've heard it called a 50-year technique, because that's how long it takes to get it right. Hopefully, will be passable somewhere prior to 50 years.
About every 10 years, a teacher gets hold of me, completely dumps everything I've learned about Hiki Otoshi and
No, start. Yeah, do it this way.
I'm back at the beginning.
So, let me. I want to discuss something before we go and do the practice on this. One of the big pitfalls of Hiki Otoshi. One of the big pitfalls of Hiki Otoshi is this. Good. You missed. Why'd you miss? Really nail me. No, really quick.
Oh, quick?
Yeah. Ooh, you okay? Yeah. But you can see that this is a little bit of a problem. Is that I can see it coming. It's got to come from way back here, and it's got to come all through this space. And I've got all this time to be able to just do that. Maybe I drop it. Maybe I move it. I like this guy. I like just popping the tip up. The stick passes as he's aiming for about here, right? But I do this, and if you do it fast, he's starting to come back. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on. What I've been working on is this. Relaxing in the first part of this. If I just start wailing from the very beginning, I can't stop it. Okay? Just do what I did. No, just lift the tip of your sword up. Oh, I'm in trouble. I didn't get a hold of it. When I'm doing this, again. Again. There you go. Yeah. So this is a problem, right? How can Hiki Otoshi ever work? So what seems to me the answer is to not use your power until you touch the stick, until you touch the sword. If I start using power now, I can't stop. If I wait till about here, you notice sometimes when I practice, I'll do this. As soon as I feel it, feel it. Now I can do it. Okay? Now, classical answer that I've been given is, well, you never let the swordsman come to a waiting position. Okay?
But that doesn't happen until Samidari.
Right. But you're supposed to act like it does, right? So if you, if we do something like, let's use this, Sugetsu, you know. Sugetsu uses this, so. And then he comes here and cuts, and then he waits for me, and bam, I knock the sword. Well, that's nice. Unless he doesn't play nice, and then he moves the sword and I die. But what happens if, as he does this, go ahead. Okay, so I've got to speed up. I've got to get it so that as soon as he stops the sword, I hit it. Right? And you were talking about samidare. Samidare, I'm actually going to strike the sword as he's cutting my head, which is a whole nother chapter. But if I go slow and he comes into this attack, right? He comes here, no, and he decides right now he wants to move that sword. I just hit him in the eye. Again, I'll stop. I can stop if I'm not using a lot of power. Okay? So, here. In other words, I'm using the stick a little bit as a curve feeler. I'm using it to feel what I've got. When we do the trapping techniques, these guys, you get that same training. But right here, when he has this, what I think is that you have to, first off, you don't just break the kata. The kata is set up in a certain way for a certain reason to give you what you need when you need it. Great. Okay? But who amongst us has not played around with the kata to see what happens if we change it a little bit? Yeah. You kind of have to know the kata inside and out. So what I'd like to do with the Hiki Otoshi today is as we practice this, I want you to practice getting this stick out there. It can be quick, but don't use power, if that makes any sense.
It's like the torque.
Be easy. Be relaxed. It's a great gunfighter said, take your time, but be quick about it. Okay, so when he has that sword and he cuts here, I want to wait until there to have my power. Okay, so let's be relaxed. Thank you. Let's be relaxed with this, and I want you to think about from this position 1, 2, 3. Notice the stretch again. I'm in this stretch. I haven't actually pulled the trigger yet. Position, position, position. There's my power. So again, stretch, power. All right, Hiki Otoshi. All right, Hiki Otoshi ni kamae. Here, close to the body. Right. So elbow in, fingers up. Open the hand here. There you go. Same thing. All right. Okay. Don't use up your grip. Open here, this way. Right now, you're aiming at somebody who's over here. So now you're aiming at somebody here. Yeah, there you go. This. Okay. I want everybody to take a look at my hand. It's open. My little finger is right about where the corner tip of the jo is. I've got this in front of my center of my chest. This hand is relaxed, not away from the body. It's almost touching the thigh here. So if I have this is no good. This is where I want to be. And this should be really relaxed. Feel to walk around like this and not have any strain. Okay? All right. So when we do this, you ready? We'll go ahead and learn. Hajime. Hey. And I'm going to strike to the eyes here because this is solo practice. There's not a sword in front of me. And I want to learn how to stop that jo. If there is not a sword in front of me, I might want to strike to the eyes. We do that in about half of the kata anyway. So open hand, finger up, elbow down. Relax your shoulders, relax your elbows. Hajime. Hey. Back again. Hey. Okay. Yeah, straight body. Same posture we were talking about before. Again, one more. Hey. Okay. Stand up straight. Come on. Let's go backwards. Going backwards, I want to move my feet at the beginning because there's a sword coming. Yeah, there you go. Hajime. Hey! Hey! Huh?
How do you turn your fingers around?
So you're talking about at the end of the technique to come back?
To switch hands and do it the other way.
Ah, well, that's nice. Watch this back hand.
Remember Honte-uchi?
Rolls over. Does the same thing.
Just like Honte-uchi.
Yeah. Cup, and then push through. Okay. When I'm here, back. Watch my back hand. Cup, draw back, and I'll let it drop through. That puts me where. Let's go kamae. Hiki Otoshi kamae. Hajime. Hey! Leaning forward, Courtney. Zzz. Hey. Again. Hey! Push. Cup. Draw back. Let it drop through. And one more. Hey! Good. We haven't knocked anybody's name off of the Nafuda, so that's good. Hey. Yame. Toy. Okay. I want to show you something that in our group, this is how we come into the posture. And I noticed the way I phrased this, I said that you cup and you draw and then you let it fall through. And the reason I say it that way is that if I push through with my top hand, I then have to roll my hand over at the kind of in the middle of nothing. There's not really a time space for me to do that. But if I let the stick drop and catch it with this hand, I can follow it with my front hand. Watch my front hand. It's just coming back into kamae. As the stick rolls back, it's already there. Fingers up, please. And this is may take some practice, especially if you've been used to doing it the other way. But it's just a little bit of efficiency. It keeps you from having to make that adjustment when you come back into kamae. It might keep you from getting your elbow cut off. So that's kind of a nice look. You see this, Courtney? Yeah. Zap. You almost just throw the jo back into your hand. There's nothing back there. Nobody's fighting you back here. So, zap. You got it. Okay? All right. Very good. Well, that was an hour. Let's. I'll try to spend less time on the Kihon as we go forward.